It's 11 o'clock at night. Outside, a torrential storm is battering an old, isolated bungalow. Inside, a young man named Arnav is completely alone. Then, the power goes out. His phone suddenly rings, cutting through the dark. It's his mother, and she is panicking. She just saw a breaking news report about a highly dangerous patient who escaped from a local psychiatric hospital, and police suspect he is hiding right in Arnav's neighborhood. She gives him a very specific physical description from the broadcast. The killer is wearing a black raincoat, and he has a deep, distinct scar on his right eye. To understand what happens next, we have to look at this minimalist model of the human brain. When you are thrown into total darkness, a sensory vacuum, your brain searches frantically for context. The moment it receives a highly specific piece of information, like a right eye scar, it locks in. Psychologists call this cognitive priming.
Your brain wires that specific clue directly into your threat detection center. Before Arnav even sees the intruder, his mind has already committed to a single, narrow interpretation of the world around him. This sensory deprivation forces him to treat unverified data as absolute truth, long before any physical threat appears. Downstairs, Arnav hears footsteps. He creeps down the stairs with a heavy flashlight, tracing a line of wet footprints across the floor. The beam hits a pair of mud-caked boots standing near the storeroom. A sudden flash of lightning illuminates the room, triggering massive sensory overload. Arnav sees a tall man. He is wearing a black raincoat. He is holding a knife, and right there on his right eye is a deep scar. It is a 100% positive ID. The man looks at him and says, "Your mother is absolutely right, Arnav." Because Arnav's brain is heavily primed to see a killer, he immediately processes this line as a sadistic taunt.
Arnav scrambles backwards, sprints upstairs, and locks himself inside his bedroom. Hearing heavy footsteps approaching, he throws himself into an old wooden trunk, peering through a tiny crack as the man kicks in the door. Right as the intruder approaches the trunk, police sirens wail outside. Red and blue lights flash against the window glass. The man drops the knife and escapes down a drain pipe. Within minutes, uniformed police officers breach the room and pull Arnav to safety. This chart tracks stress and cortisol levels during a crisis. The line spikes into the red panic zone, but the exact second an authority figure appears, it plummets to a flat green baseline. This is the safe haven illusion. Surviving a perceived life or death threat creates an intense wave of relief. That relief is so powerful, the brain assumes the danger is permanently over and completely stops scanning the environment for new threats. Calm, methodical tone. Arnav is now sitting in the passenger seat of a quiet, dimly lit police cruiser. The doors are shut. The chaos of the storm is muffled. He is safe with the inspector. The inspector takes off his hat. In the ambient light of the cabin, Arnav notices something. The inspector's right eye is perfectly fine. He has a horrific, deep scar on his left eye. Arnav's phone vibrates. It's a text from his mother. The local news station issued an urgent correction. The killer's scar is on his left eye, and he escaped by stealing a police uniform. The man in the raincoat was actually the first officer on the scene, a man who grabbed a knife for protection and happened to bear a right eye scar that matched the error in the news report. That out-of-context dialogue from earlier takes on a completely different meaning. When the officer said, "Your mother is absolutely right," he was confirming the danger and trying to warn Arnav. Arnav's cognitively primed brain twisted a plea for safety into a threat. The initial bad information from the news broadcast inverted reality. It took Arnav's own survival instincts and weaponized them, making him flee from the one person trying to save his life. Arnav frantically pulls the car door handle. A heavy mechanical click echoes through the cabin as the child lock snaps down into place. The killer didn't have to break into Arnav's house or chase him down. He used the stolen uniform to trigger the safe haven illusion, bypassing every single one of Arnav's psychological defenses without a fight. Watch how false news becomes lethal. At the phone call, reality splits. Arnav travels the blue path of perceived reality. The killer takes the red path of actual reality. Inside the police car, these parallel realities violently crash back together. The man in the driver's seat looks up, making eye contact in the rearview mirror. He smiles and says, "I told you, Arnav. No use running. Our survival instincts become a liability when we trust a single piece of bad information, turning the panicked mind into the primary architect of its own destruction.